Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is Any Kind Media. We are your hosts. My name is Ocean Subiano.
I'm Taylor Vieira.
And today we bring to you our final impressions of the Obi Wan Kenobi series produced by Disney Plus and Lucasfilm. This is the culmination of 6 episodes, and we're going to give you our take on the season as a whole. This is the final 2 episodes because we didn't do a episode 5 review.
Yeah, 5 and 6.
So this will be 5 and 6. We'll give you our final impressions. We'll give it a rate, and then we'll get into some spoilers and whatnot. This is going to be a pretty quick, non-spoiler review. The way I feel about it is like the last 2 episodes are what the whole series, like there's like 3 of the episodes are good and then 3 of them are just dumb. And it's just another, like we keep saying it over and over, but it's just another like failure of proper pacing by Disney in general. So I don't know, it's a little frustrating, but the final 2 episodes were pretty dope. And I did enjoy them a lot.
As far as the last 2 episodes go, I would say overall they were better. So yeah, I would agree with that. Still got a lot of stupid stuff. Overall, in general, I mean, I guess I kind of want to wait till we just go into like the full thing. But yeah, the last 2 episodes were definitely better than some of the other ones.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, as far as the spoiler-free review goes, I would say watch it. I mean, it's worth watching at least. If you're a super diehard Star Wars fan,
I say you kind of have to watch it,
yeah,
just on the fact of what it is.
Yeah. And there are some very specific moments in it that are super cool and kind of make it worth watching just for those moments, which we'll talk about. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it lived up to my initial prediction for this series, but I definitely think it's not bad. I mean, I don't think it's horrible. There are some people out there that are giving it a lot of hate, but I don't think it's...
I mean, I'm going to give it a lot of shit, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. So that's our spoiler-free review. As far as the rating goes, we'll rate it as a whole show. From episode 1 all the way through episode 6. And man, I don't know. It's hard for me because, like I said, there's some very specific moments throughout the series that were super cool, and those make me want to give it a higher score than it deserves because it doesn't deserve a super high score. I don't know. What do you think?
Honestly, I think I'm going to give this show a 6.
Okay. I want to give it a 7. Like 7 to me feels right for the show as a whole.
I want to give it a 5, but I want it to be a little better than Halo's.
I don't think it was that bad. I don't think it was that bad. I want to give it a 7.
Well, 5 is not bad though. It's average, just which is what it is to me.
I think I'm gonna go with 7 and like a high 7, like very close to an 8, just because of there's like 4 or 5 moments that are super cool and make me want to give it higher, but because of a lot of the shortcomings, I have to give it a 7. So it's a 7 for me, 6 from Taylor. If you haven't seen it yet, take that with a grain of salt. Maybe you enjoy it a lot more than we did. We are Star Wars nerds, so we look for different things. So we're gonna dive into some spoilers. So if you haven't seen it and you don't want to be spoiled, go ahead and click off this video. Go watch the rest of the series, and then come back and we'll get into the spoilers together. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, this is your official
spoiler alert.
All right, so a lot of good, a lot of bad, a lot of missed opportunities, I would say. But one thing that I want to talk about before we get into spoilers is something that me and my brother and my dad have been talking a lot about recently, because there's been a lot of movies and TV shows that have come out in the last couple months that are nostalgia pieces, right? Like Top Gun, right? Maverick, Jurassic World Dominion, this, there's a lot. So what I want to say is that what we have noticed is the expectation that a lot of moviegoers and TV show watchers have for these things, for these movies and stuff, might be a little bit, I don't know if it's unrealistic, but might be a little bit biased in the sense that, like, let's take Jurassic World for example, right? Jurassic World was or is a really good example of trying to mix old with new, right? The old story of the trilogy, new story of the new trilogy, and trying to mesh the two stories together, right? And so we, as viewers and as lovers of the original Jurassic trilogy and whatever, or maybe just the original movie. I don't know about that third one, but
the third one was good.
Third one. Sorry, second one.
The second one was kind of weird.
So we love that stuff, right? So when we get another movie that is playing off of that, there's expectations that we create in our mind for there to be a certain level of nostalgia and a certain level of callbacks or whatever, and it probably varies between you and me or whoever, but that's what we're expecting, and it makes it hard for us to appreciate the new stories and the story that particular movie is trying to tell, right? And I think the big struggle for a lot of studios and directors and writers or whatever is it's very hard to create something new while also appeasing the expectations that people have for that piece, right? Top Gun, I think, is a good example of successfully doing that, right? Yeah. They successfully were able to give enough callbacks and show enough nostalgia, and while also giving a new story and giving us something to so that it's not just a remake, right? And Kenobi is hard because it's not a continuation of anything. There's nothing that came before it, so it's an original. So it's hard, but it has established characters in it that we love and we're very partial to. So I think especially for something like Kenobi, it falls victim to a lot of people having very specific expectations, and if those specific expectations aren't met, then it brings down the viewer experience, right? For example, why did it take 6 episodes for us to get hello there, right? Like, why did it take that long for him to have said hello there?
He does it all the time,
right? So that's what I mean.
And his form too,
huh? Yeah, in his form, right? So that's what I mean. We have these very specific set of expectations, and if those aren't met, then our viewer experience is brought down. Whether or not that's fair to the series is what I'm trying to bring to light, right? Like, if don't get me wrong, there's a lot of dumb stuff that happened in Kenobi, and that regardless if it was a show about Kenobi, I wouldn't have liked. But I think something that we got to take into consideration is that they're telling something brand new, right? And maybe we need to cut a little bit of slack because they're telling something brand new and also trying to appease all of us that are Obi Wan Kenobi super fans. I don't know what that looks like, and that's part of the problem for me, is that I don't know what that looks like. But maybe as we talk, we can kind of figure it out. Because I think there's a lot of people that are kind of like you that are upset, or not upset, but just maybe bummed or disappointed or whatever. And then there's a lot of people like,
I'm sure there's a lot of people that are legitimately upset about
yeah,
this show.
well, yeah, I mean, there's always going to be extremes, right? But I think maybe if we can try to look at this for what it is, then maybe our viewpoint or our viewer experience won't be so down in the dumps. So, with that being said, let's get into some of the things that you didn't like about the series as a whole. What do you got?
Yeah, I guess because I don't really remember exactly what happened in order anymore of 5 and 6. I feel like just in general, this is kind of falls along the suit of Book of Boba Fett, right?
Okay.
It's the show is Obi Wan Kenobi,
Right.
but is he really the focus though?
No, I see where you're going with this. The show is named after Obi Wan Kenobi, and the whole show is about Leia being rescued or Rivas' redemption arc or whatever. And there's not a whole lot of time spent on actual Kenobi's character development.
And it's only six episodes, right?
Yeah.
And I don't even like it was confirmed, right, that there was a second season.
Second season is confirmed. What it's going to be about or whatever, I have no idea.
I honestly don't really want a second season. I feel like if anything, that would just make this worse than.
I can see that. I can see how it might just be like,
because it's just so like I understand that like we're trying to be fair, right? But the problem is you didn't have to make this. You could have just left this because this is a very tricky time frame that they wanted to do.
Right.
Because we know obviously what happened before this and what happens after this. So you're inevitably going to be kind of screwed with how much
they have very specific parameters to work with.
Yeah, because unless you're just saying, well, we're ignoring this and then doing whatever we want.
Didn't the director say that they would never, there will never break canon?
According to the director.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong, but it depends on what they consider canon, because if it includes everything that's come out so far, I believe they've already done that with some of the characters. I haven't checked, but I was told that Riva is not the third sister, and she's actually the second sister.
I don't know.
I don't know
off
a
the
lot
top of
about
my
the
head.
Inquisitors, so
I don't know much about them either, but
and I don't know, a lot of the stuff that happens in this show doesn't make sense after the fact, like in episode 4,
right?
Especially in, I don't know if it was 5 or 6, but whenever Luke comes in the picture.
6.
That was in 6.
6, yeah.
Yeah. Like, the whole interaction thing with Riva coming there and, like, attacking, trying to get Luke and stuff. It doesn't make sense to me, because that, like, Luke is not supposed to know about any of that.
Yeah. That is true. I mean, he was told that it was Tusken Raiders, right? But obviously he got chased out.
Some person in black clothing with a red lightsaber chasing you.
Well, a red glowing stick, because he has no idea what a lightsaber is.
Yeah, he doesn't know. Well, I guess. But he hasn't visually seen that either.
Yeah.
But in the show, that does happen, right?
Right. Right.
I mean,
I don't see it. I know what you're talking about, and while I was watching it, I had the same thought, and I was actually trying to pay attention and see, like, okay, does he ever like actually see Riva? Right?
Well, see, the
like,
thing
does he
is,
ever actually
like, I'm sure it's probably there, right? Where they probably like really barely squeeze by with, be like, oh, he didn't actually look at her.
Right.
Come on, dude. If I'm chasing you with a lightsaber, you can't tell me that you don't know what's going on. Like, he's running away from her. The thing is bright.
Yeah.
And it's loud.
I see what you're saying.
Even if he hasn't physically like seen it, that's still weird, because he's not supposed to know anything about any of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, that was interesting. I was actually after episode 5, I was actually hoping that the continuation of Riva's story would be saved for season 2, You know what I mean?
I don't want to see it at all.
But
they're making, aren't they making
either.
an entire show about her?
I heard rumors that she's supposed to get a spinoff, but what I'm saying is like she sees the little fucking disc, hologram thing, and
Which was stupid.
sees Bail Organa talk about the kids.
That was a horrible
So,
thing.
yeah, it's a pretty cheap plot device, but
Well, it's stupid. It's like, oh, hey, Obi-Wan, if you can hear me, in case you are captured, let me explain this vital information. Like,
that's true. Yeah. But I was just hoping that like that would have been saved. I mean, obviously they made this season with the intention of with the knowledge that there was only one for sure, so it wouldn't have made sense. But, it would have been better to me if episode 6 was just about Kenobi and Vader, and then this whole Riva thing didn't happen. Also, what planet do we know what planet Darth Vader and Kenobi fought on?
There is a name out there. I don't remember what it was.
Do we know how close it is?
It's some random coincidental planet that just happened to be there.
Well, yeah, it also had to have been close to Tatooine, right? Like, there's no way. I mean, I get that you can travel into light speed, but
but see, they made it seem like he couldn't until the very end. Then he's like, "Oh no, Luke's in trouble." Hyperspeed.
Well, yeah, because he's in a different ship, but I know what you're saying, but that part irked me a little bit when I watched it. I was like, he's gonna get there in time. Like, he literally felt that Luke was in trouble while Riva was like cutting up the place and
he got there.
And then he got there in enough time to
must be like hours realistically.
Yeah,
but in the cuts, it's like seconds.
Yeah, so that was a little, I don't know, but okay. So we're talking about a lot about 4 and 5, but this is a final impression. So what was it about the beginning of the series that didn't put you on a good track?
The beginning? The very beginning seemed fine. It was just I don't know. I feel like for this entire series, anytime it's not Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, it's stupid and pointless. Everything they did with Leia, I don't even know why it exists. Like, and it doesn't even make sense for her own character. Like, for being the way that she is in this show to how she was an adult. And then on top of that, like, random things that happen throughout the movies and stuff makes no sense because of this show.
Like what?
Like, she's this little kid that apparently is so smart, yet an idiot at the same time. Figures out how to open, like, a giant hangar door.
Electronic.
But can't open, like, some stupid random door later on. Can't just, like, hack whatever she wants. Like, and then, like, I don't know what the hell the point of the stupid little droid thing is other than money for merchandise.
Well, not only that, but the tracker. They had to have some... It was a like we said in our review of episode 4, is that it was a cheap way for them to be able to continue to find them.
Right, it's stupid, and then it makes Vader look dumb later on, because that's what he does with the Millennium Falcon. But now it's like, oh, I did this because Riva did this earlier, and now I'm copying her.
Yeah, I think I like what you said in that anything, if it wasn't Darth Vader and Obi-Wan on the screen, then it kind of just it was poorly executed or whatever. Episode 4 was horrible, and then episode 5, they kind of there are some really, really cool moments. Obviously Darth Vader grabbing a ship out of the sky is pretty dope.
Right. That was super cool.
Yeah.
And then he immediately makes him look like an idiot because, so you're telling me Darth Vader cannot sense Obi-Wan and can't sense that there's nobody in this ship. He just walks in there like, like Big D swinging and like rips the ship down from taking off with nobody in it apparently. So who's flying it? And then starts ripping chunks out of it. It's super cool. And then the second ship, which wasn't there,
Nah, it was. We watched it back there. You can see it in the background
I
of the
didn't.
shot.
Well, I didn't see it, so I didn't see the second ship. So didn't look like it was there. Magically, just flies away with everybody else.
Yeah.
So you make him look cool, and then you make him look like an idiot because he apparently can't tell that there's people on the ship.
I mean, I think there's a little bit of room for interpretation on like the whole force sensing thing, because even when he's walking down the street in episode 3, right, he can tell that Obi-Wan is in the area, but he can't tell exactly where he is. So he walks into that big room, right? Imagine you're Darth Vader, and you're fucking pissed off. Excuse my language. You're really pissed off, and you walk around the corner into this giant hangar, and the ship starts taking off. I don't know that the ability to sense another Force user is that specific to know, oh, he's over there instead of up here, like within, that specificity. I mean, I could be wrong, but I think it's more of an area thing. Like, oh, he's in this area. I can tell he's in this area. And so he sees a ship fly away, so he grabs it. You know what I mean?
Who's flying the ship?
It's probably automated, like the remember they were on the transport ship from, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the planet, but right after Reva tells them Obi-Wan or Anakin is still alive, right? They're on that ship, and that ship is just automated. So I know the technology is in the universe for it to be an automated, or they just had a sacrificial pilot.
Bunch of peasants and nobodies with nowhere to go, no money, have this ship that can just fly itself away.
Probably not.
The point of the episode was to show that Anakin is still blind.
Yeah.
In some cases, when it comes to Obi-Wan.
Right, because the parallel between the shots that we see and also Obi-Wan and Anakin, practicing their lightsabers and stuff. It was to show that Anakin, when he fights, he's blind by rage and by the need to win. Right, so I like that. I like that you mentioned that, because it does help. The part that I didn't really understand in that moment was he grabbed that ship out of the sky, but as soon as the other one took off, how come he didn't grab that one?
Because the show's stupid.
Well, yeah.
And he's on cooldown.
He's on cooldown. This is Battlefront 2. His force pull is, or his force.
And they do this multiple times. This is not even the first time he's done that. He did the same thing with the fire.
Yeah. So I'm sure there's a lot of different explanations that people could give, but it was just the story that was written, right?
You could also say, why didn't he force pull in Rogue One when he walks up and Leia's ship's taken off? Why didn't he just pull that ship back?
Right. Well,
that's what I'm saying.
During Rogue One, we didn't know he had that ability.
I was saying,
we didn't
that's
know
why this show is
had
bad. Everything they're creating in this makes everything else have less sense.
Right. I get what you're saying. I think, they're trying to... Whenever you create something like this, you're always trying to one up, right? Like, you're always trying to look better or have cooler stuff than the last thing that was created.
Only in the sense of you want more money.
Well, yeah, obviously, it's Disney.
You're just ruining the rest of things that were already made.
Yeah, I mean, it's Disney, so I don't know.
Even with Obi Wan's powers, where the hell did this come from?
Yeah, where did he get the ability?
Sure, this was a super cool fight between him and Darth. This is literally what we wanted to see. But where did this come from?
Yeah. No, I agree with you on that point. I don't have an answer to that other than it's just the plot, the way the plot was written, or the way the story was written, and Disney's attempt to just create something grander every time they create something new for money, obviously, because it's Disney. Yeah. So
I would say that it comes from the need to one up. Is that if they didn't, we would be saying, oh, well, Darth Vader's not anything new, not any better. He's not any cool at all. Yeah,
there's obviously a fine line, right? Because, like you said, if they didn't have all these spectacular things happen, sure there'd be a lot of people out there being like, well, isn't this the same thing that we've always saw? And there's some people out there that is what they wanted.
I'm sure if you're just like a brain dead, this is like exactly what the Marvel fans love.
Yeah,
it's like if you
it's the
just want to
same
see
thing
that,
over.
sure, I guess.
Right. So there's a fine line, right? There's a fine line of something that's the same thing repeated over and over, and something that is just, or what this was too grand and makes everything else look dumb. So obviously they didn't hit that line. And again, I don't know what that line looks like. I think we know when we see it, like when we do see it, we're like, oh, that's what we wanted, right?
I don't know.
But,
I mean, think about it. Everything that Disney has made so far with Star Wars, right? Pretty much, except for Rogue One, The Mandalorian, and actually probably mostly about it, kind of lame. Like overall, so like Disney trilogy.
no, yeah. I mean, we don't talk about Disney trilogy.
This show, pretty much all of it is kind of just whatever.
Yeah.
Except for The Mandalorian, which was brand new, but still involves things that we know, but
Yeah.
it was still done very well.
Yeah, so I think Mandalorian, I think that's what I mean by that. We know it when we see it, right? Mandalorian, they did it right. They created something new and did new things while also walking that line of, giving us the nostalgia or whatever. So Mandalorian is the standard, right? That's the gold standard. Obviously, this didn't hit that.
No.
Right. So I don't know how to have made this better if I had sat down and really
But
thought
I can
about
tell
it.
you two people who might have had a better shot of making
Well,
this. better.
yeah. But they're not going to give them everything. They can't.
Well, they could.
They
but
could,
just don't
but
want to.
they're not going to because it's just Disney. I mean, they're not going to. They're not going to give them every series. So, all right. Is there anything else that you want to talk about that's bad? Like any other specific things?
I mean, I'm sure if I actually remembered everything, I'd probably go on and on, but not really.
Okay. I mean, I will say, like, Obi Wan's powers were ridiculous in episode 6.
It's insane.
He's just, I mean, I know he was an extremely powerful force user, but
Not like that.
not levitated
There
an
was
entire
very few
field
people
of
who
rocks.
do that stuff.
Yeah. Not levitated an entire field of rocks. And
And what was also stupid was when that happened was not even that itself that it was crazy, is why did he have to think of Leia?
yeah,
To
okay,
become
so
that
that was the
powerful.
last thing. That was one of the last things I wanted to talk about as far as bad stuff goes. Is that, to me, that was the absolute wrong thing for them to have put in there for that. I get that Leia was kidnapped and he went to save her, and that's what this whole series was about, or a lot of the series was about. But in that moment, for him to have reconnected with the Force, it should not have been about Leia.
No.
Because at no point in the rest of the canon is he that connected to Leia at all.
I don't even think he even mentions her.
I know. I think. I mean, here and there, I'm sure he does. But like,
I think he doesn't ever say anything except for after the fact of being told about her.
yeah. I mean, he knows that she's there because he tells Bale, or he talks to Bale in episode 3, and Bale's like, "Oh, we'll take the girl and we'll send the boy off to his family." So, but there's no reason why that should have been the connection that he needed to get full power back. That was
Unlimited
there's a multitude of other things that could have been that last thing for him. Maybe like remembering a fond memory between him and Anakin,
Yeah.
or even Satine, or I don't know. I mean, that wouldn't. I don't think a lot of people would have been like, "What the hell is that?" But I would have been pretty stoked about that. But there's so many other things. I mean, even Luke. Even if it had been Luke, I would have been somewhat okay with it.
I mean,
It
they
would have been
show like
better.
a half-second picture
Yeah,
of Luke.
but it's like 95% Leia and
Yeah.
5% Luke. So if they had alternated between the two, maybe, because like, oh, he's trying to take care of Vader's kids or whatever, or Anakin's kids, but it was 95% Leia, and I don't agree with that at all. That's probably my biggest problem with episode 6 was that.
Yeah, I mean, individual moments, sure. I just don't like this entire show because, like I said, basically kind of just ruins different parts throughout the rest of the whole series.
Yeah.
Leia's arc is kind of stupid now because of what happens in this. Obi
I
Wan
think she was-
is weird. I don't like his transition within the show. Doesn't make sense to me from the split between 3 and 4. Because how does he go from being like his prime to nothing in like, you know, this many years, and then in 6 episodes just like a
Right
god,
back to Prime.
and then to nothing, being an old man all of a sudden.
I mean, he is an old man, so, and he becomes more powerful than you will ever know.
Yeah, which just means he can be a force ghost.
Yeah. He's the first one, right? He's the first one to have achieved that power that we know of, like as we were
Like for
introduced to Star
force
Wars.
ghosting?
Yeah. As we were introduced to Star Wars, right?
Like visually seeing it?
Yeah.
I believe
I think
so.
he's the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, obviously we can sit here and nitpick things all day about what we didn't like and how they could have done this or that better. I highly doubt they'll ever see it anyway. But I do want to talk about some of the cool stuff and talk about some of the things that we did like. First off, being Vader, right? I think that Vader was super well done in this series. I mean, there's probably a few things here and there, but overall, I think they did Vader really well in this series, and having Hayden Christensen back as Vader is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And their ability to have James Earl Jones voice Vader is pretty amazing. His suit looks dope. We get that scene in episode 4, right? Is it episode? No. What episode is episode 3 when we see him get built?
I think it's 3.
Might be 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember liking a whole lot of things in 4, so I'm pretty sure it's
4
3.
was horrible. 4 was probably the worst episode in my opinion. But episode 3, that's when we get to see him built. Obviously, we get to see him walk down the alleyway, just choking people out. That was dope. And then I don't know, man. That fight scene between him and Riva, as much as I don't like Riva,
Oh, you're
that
talking about
fight
like the
scene
kung fu
of him just
dodging.
just
That was
dodging
awesome.
and force fighting her. Like he didn't even use his old lightsaber,
Yeah,
not
just
once.
Kept dodging like
Just dodging, and it was dope, dude.
Yeah.
Like I really liked that. I thought that was super
Reminded
cool.
me a lot of like kung fu movies. Like you
Yeah,
said.
I thought it was super cool, and just the whole time, like up until kind of the end, the whole time Vader I could feel the hate and the rage radiating from him. I could feel it, and that's what I wanted from Vader. So it was really cool to see that fight scene, and the Grand Inquisitor come back apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that seems like a Band-Aid fix to me, but I mean whatever. So,
Well, that and Rivas just she can't die apparently.
yeah, so
No
that's
matter how many times she gets stabbed.
that's one of the good things that I did want to say about Riva's arc is I feel like her acting in episode 5 and 6 dramatically got better from the first 4 episodes. Like even her character and stuff, like it just got. I still don't like her. I still don't like her character. But for all the people out there that were like sending hate mail and talking a whole bunch of shit about Riva in the beginning, I do think that it got way better as this series went on. I don't know. I just think that the actress did a lot better, and the way that her character was played was a lot better. So
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, but it's probably only because now, like near the end, she kind of like did the stupid thing that apparently everybody wants to do and not have bad guys and change her to like a somewhat of a good person.
oh yeah.
That's probably the only reason, because now she's not a villain and now she's just a good person. And I don't know, maybe
Well,
it's the difference of just acting between them.
She doesn't know what she is.
She's trash, is what she is.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, overall, I still could have done without her, but I will give credit where credit's due in the fact that episode 4 and 6 performance was much better, and or sorry, 5 and 6. 5 and 6 was much better. So we got that dope scene in episode 6 of them fighting. I mean, I really liked it. I think I rewatched it like 4 or 5 times. From the point where Vader rips the freaking ship out of the sky and rips it apart, all the way to him stabbing her for the second time. That whole scene, I think we watched it like 4 times after the episode was done. I really enjoyed it. I mean, and those are the kind of moments that I was talking about earlier, that like those specific moments, they don't make up for the rest of the show, but in those moments, it's just amazing, and it just makes me wish that there was more.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna give or say the show is better than it is just because of, I mean, I agree. Like, it has some really cool moments, but it still doesn't help it overall. Because, like I said, right after that, he does the whole, I've known you were a youngling this whole time.
Yeah.
Get stabbed. Okay,
Get
bye.
wrecked, kid.
And then just leaves her. Why? Why wouldn't you just kill her then?
I was hoping.
Same thing with Obi Wan. He just left him in a hole.
Yeah.
Like, you want to tell me the ship thinks ridiculous? So you're telling me he doesn't know that Obi-Wan's not dead in the ground?
No, I would agree.
He didn't
with
even
that.
do anything to him. He literally just threw rocks. He's just sitting in the ground.
Yeah, I mean, they needed that visual, though, right, of him breaking out of the ground, because it's like him breaking free from his
that was the Leia moment, right?
Yeah,
when he finally gets pushed it.
Yeah. Yeah. I hear what you're saying. I'm just trying to enjoy it for what it is, you know.
Well,
the good parts, I just try to hold on to those good parts.
It's mediocre, which is fine. Not everything's going to be amazing, but
I wanted this to be amazing.
Yeah, obviously it would be nice if everything was amazing, but it's not. I mean, it's not realistic.
Yeah. All right. So, what did you think about the final battle?
I thought it was super cool up until a point, and I know it has to happen, so I can't really give them a whole lot of crap for it. But I feel like it was just I don't know what time, which point it was, but Vader basically just decided to just stop and lose. What it looked like to me. Which, like I said, it kind of has to happen because he can't win.
Well, I think at some point, Obi-Wan kind of, to me, what I was experiencing through it was at the beginning, Obi-Wan was ready to give his life to let the rest of the rebels escape, right? He's ready to give his life. He's ready to finally face Vader and die. Like, that's what it seemed to me at the beginning. And then, as the fight progressed and a few things happened here and there, it felt like he saw a glimmer or a little bit of hope of his abilities returning and being able to actually beat Vader. And then the whole, in the ground, Leia explode out of the ground thing happened. And then at that point, it was no longer, I'm here to sacrifice myself. It's, I'm going to beat you up, bro. Like, I'm going to kick your ass. So that's the transition that I felt as I was watching it. And like you said, it had to have happened. Otherwise, a lot of would have created major plot holes. But I'm not really mad at it. I just wish they wouldn't have made him so ridiculously powerful, just chucking rocks at Vader. And
yeah, I mean, this stuff is pulled straight from Disney trilogy, isn't it? These powers were never used ever until Disney made their trilogy, right? Wasn't this from either Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker, when they just start pulling out these insane powers?
Possibly. I mean, there's a lot of throwing things.
Not to the extent of
not a whole
X-Men
field of rocks.
Abilities of lifting chunks of the earth and flinging them at somebody.
No, definitely not to that
extreme. More
usually
just here's an object.
Throw. Yeah.
They're like earthbenders in this.
Yeah. But other than that, I thought the visuals were really cool.
Oh yeah, I mean it looks
the
great. It was
red and
cool.
blue saber, right? Because we talked about it from episode 1 where the scenery is super dark and there's not really anything going on, right?
Yeah,
and so the
it
focus is on the sabers,
yeah, which looks
um,
great.
which was cool to me. And then we get the really cool scene of him cutting open Vader's mask with his
Right.
lightsaber, and
It was cool, and it was also stolen.
yeah, it was stolen from Rebels, but it was still kind of.
It was cool. No, like don't get me wrong, it's still really
I was still
cool.
like, all right,
And
this
then
is
I
dope.
liked
Live
that it
action
was,
version
like-
of what happened in Rebels.
Yeah,
like,
I like that
that's
it was
dope.
a transition with the talking between
Vader's voice and
Vader
Anakin.
and Hayden Christensen. Yeah,
Yeah, it was. I thought that was super cool. We confirmed that his eyes changed, right?
yes, it does.
Yeah.
The colors do
The
change.
colors do change.
Whenever it's supposed to be like Anakin speaking,
Yeah.
it's like more blue, and then when it switches to Vader, it like does
Yeah.
the Sith looking eyes.
That was cool. And then the line, what was it? Anakin is gone, or what? He says, "I killed."
It was like you didn't kill.
yeah,
Anakin,
you
I
didn't kill
did.
Anakin. I did. That line hit me pretty hard because I was like, "Oh, damn, that's harsh, bro. That's some metal shit right there."
Yeah.
I saw a meme the other day. Saw a meme the other day of Obi Wan or Ben Kenobi in Episode 4, and Luke Skywalker's like, or it wasn't Episode 4, it was Episode 5, and Luke Skywalker's like, "Why didn't you tell me Vader was my father? You told me that he killed him. You lied." And Obi Wan Kenobi's like, "That's what he told me. He told me he killed him. I don't know what to tell you, man." It was hilarious. But yeah, I mean, that was a really cool visual. I really liked that half map. I mean, I get that it was stolen, but it was still super cool.
Yeah.
And then we get his fighting form, right? And
Yeah, we get a little half-ass version of
Yeah.
it. It wasn't quite what
It wasn't
wanted
the
it
full,
to be. He wasn't
like,
like really into it. Yeah, it was just like I guess I'm just too old now. But we still got it though.
yeah.
So,
And then the episode ends, or the series ends, with him returning to Tatooine, clearing out his cave for some reason. Not sure why, but
yeah, I guess he's just moving.
clearing out his cave.
New Obi-Wan.
And then
New
he
cave food is.
goes to Luke's farm. He sees Uncle Owen, and they have a little exchange of words because Owen is still mad at him.
Yeah.
And then Owen asks him if he wants to meet Luke. So he does. He walks up to Luke, and we get his classic "hello there" line
He gives him a
again.
little toy.
Why did we have to wait 6 episodes for it? Why did we have to wait 6 episodes for that? For his fighting form, for all that stuff? Like, why? Why did we have to do that? And then, arguably the best thing about episode 6, which there was a point earlier in episode 6 where I thought it was gonna happen, and it didn't. And I like literally said out loud, I was like, "I swear to God, if they don't give us." If they don't give him to us, I'm gonna be insanely pissed off. But of course, the very last thing that we see of the series is Obi-Wan trotting through the desert,
And out of nowhere.
our boy Qui-Gon Jinn appears as a Force ghost and says, "It's about time."
Yeah, he's like, "I've been waiting this whole
Yeah.
time. You just couldn't see me."
Yeah,
Or
I've been
couldn't
with
hear
you
me."
this whole time. And then he says like, "We got work to do" or something,
Yeah, he's
right?
like, "Hurry up, we got a
Yeah.
lot of work to do."
So obviously, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he'll be involved in season 2, which could be cool, I guess. But
And well, I'm gonna say if that isn't what it is, I
Yeah.
am not watching season 2.
yeah,
Like it better be literally just both of them all the time.
and then that's the end, right? Can we give a shout out to? Can we give a shout out to Liam Neeson for just blatantly lying to everybody?
Oh yeah,
Like he just straight up said, "Nah, I'm not in this. Nah, what do you mean?" And then
I don't do
Yeah.
do shows.
Yeah, like he just blatantly lied, which good for you, bro. Like, because there's so many times people leak that they're in movies or whatever, and that shit leaks, and obviously there were rumors leading up to this series, but the fact that he just straight up lied and said no, but he really was, I think it's dope. I think it's awesome.
Oh yeah, I was so excited to see this.
It's like Andrew Garfield, right, for Spider-Man Far From Home. Like he said no, I'm not in that, but obviously he was. So yeah, we get him finally. Took 6 whole episodes to get him.
All of the entire season.
Yeah,
literally the final moments.
So,
but we got it.
Yeah, check that box, right? It's almost what it felt like. Yeah. After, like, initially I was like, yes, but then after I was like, that just kind of felt like a check the box kind of thing. Like, oh,
pretty much.
Everybody was expecting this, so here you go. Here's 5 seconds of him. So, whatever. I mean, we still get to see him as a Force Ghost. It's dope. He looks so good.
He does. He looks great.
His beard looks so much better than the original, than the prequels. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, that's the end of Obi Wan Kenobi Series 1 or Season 1. No idea what the plans are for the future of this show. I'm looking forward to Mandalorian Season 3 coming out so that, we can get back on track with good shit.
Yeah, hopefully.
Good Star Wars stuff.
Yeah. Mandalorian.
And some more Baby Yoda. So, all right. That's all I really got to say on the series. Like we said in the beginning, it's average, maybe a little bit better than average in certain parts because of certain things that happen. If you're a diehard Star Wars nerd, you should watch it. There's a lot of cool stuff that happens, but don't be expecting to be blown out of your socks like you were for Mandalorian. So, anything else to say?
No, I mean, I agree. It's just solid, not amazing.
Yeah,
should watch it if you like Star Wars. If not, you can pass.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really
like vital to anything, really.
You're not really missing anything because it doesn't really tie into anything else.
It's just something.
It's a filler. It's filling.
It's
a
just
gap.
something that we wanted to know.
Yeah. So. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let us know what your thoughts were on Obi Wan Kenobi, the original series produced by Disney Plus and Lucasfilm. Did you guys like it more than we did, or did you guys hate it, or what were your guys' thoughts? What were your favorite parts? Do you like what they did with Leia or not? Because I feel like if they just kind of cut that out of the show and filled it with some other stuff, it probably would have been better. But that's just me. So let us know what you guys thought down in the comments below. We appreciate you guys being here. We'll please like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Bye, guys.